Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. This is time for your wake-up call. So I thought I'd do something a little different today. Usually I go to a couple of news sites to see what's going on, and one of them is Zero Hedge, the other one is Drudge Report. Um, so instead of actually reading an article today, I just thought I'd go over the headlines because there's a lot of stuff going on in the world, and there's a lot of headlines that caught my eye. I read a few of them, but I think that just going over the headlines to give you guys an idea of what's going on out there would be a good thing. And I guess one of the big things right now is this article right here, where it seems that the Saudis are saying that they had nothing to do with this. And unfortunately, from reading about this, it seems like this person was dismembered while he was still alive. And I hate talking about this stuff, but I'll make it quick. And the reason some investigators know this is because when he was abducted, he had an iPhone watch and he recorded everything, and it was being sent and recorded on his phone while this stuff was happening. So, I mean, terrible thing. So, I don't know what is going to happen from this. You know, unfortunately, this person's already gone. Right? His life has been taken from him. But what is going to happen because of that? Because President Trump said that if the Saudis had anything to do with it, that there would be great repercussions. And it looks like they did. Okay? So I'll leave that one at that. You guys can come and take a look at this if you guys want to read this. It's pretty nasty, really, to tell you the truth. Okay, this right here is pretty surprising to me. I mean, not surprising. I guess nothing's surprising anymore. But if you guys if you guys read this, it says, after UAE murder squad revelations, how many more private U.S. hit teams are under Gulf regimes? Incredible. So it says a private murder squad of ex-U.S. Special Forces members was paid over $1.5 million a month to kill enemies of UAE Crown Prince. That's pretty disgusting, really. Oh, here's one. Trader warns yesterday's big equity bounce is no reason to declare victory. I realized after reading the deluge of reports that risk appetite was roaring back. I had a tear running down my cheek, and it wasn't from laughing. Yep, so I think I mentioned something about a dead cat bounce the other day when the market went down, or was it the end of last week? I think the market had gone down a total of, I think, like 1,300 points or something like that, and then it bounced back. Of that, I think it regained about 600 or 700 points. And that's what I call a dead cat bounce. Now, I could be 100% wrong, but usually when you look at the charts, whenever you have a big drop like that, you have a rise, a rise short after. All right, it may not be the very next day, but short after that, you have a pretty big rise. That's usually not a huge rise, but it's usually not a rise that's bigger than what the drop was, but big enough to encourage people to think that, oh, that was just a fluke the other day. Let me go get back in the market. It goes up and then it goes back down. And usually it has like 5 waves. So it'll have 1 up, 2 down, 3 up, 4 down, and then 5 up. And then after that fifth wave up, it usually drops down even more. So we'll see what happens. I mean, the markets are completely controlled and manipulated. So there's really no logic anymore. When you look at charts and stuff like that, there's something called the Fibonacci scale, I believe it is, and it's a scientific tool that's used to predict human behavior. I guess there's certain levels of human behavior, and not only in humans, but in nature. There's certain levels of behavior, natural behavior. And traders use what's called a Fibonacci scale, I believe is what is called Fibonacci, uh, to determine or to predict what's going to happen in the market. They use that along with the chart, the historical chart, to try to predict what's going to happen. So we'll see what happens. I mean, if you're in the stock market, just be very careful. I mean, if I were in the stock market and I was invested in really, really good companies, companies that have been around a long time that are currently doing really good, maybe I'd have some, maybe I feel all right, because even if the stock market crashed, as long as those companies that you're invested in, as long as they survive a stock market crash, then you should be okay in the long run. All right, in the long run, you should be okay. But one thing to be cognizant of is, how do you prove that you own stocks? Do you actually have the stock certificates? Or do you just have a piece of paper that says that you own them, that you have X number of them? Because remember, you put money in the bank says you have X number of dollars in the bank. That's not what happened in Cyprus. In Cyprus, these people put money in the bank, and if you guys haven't heard about Cyprus, what happened a few years back in Cyprus, where everyone in Cyprus got a haircut, they ended up getting, I think, everyone with 100,000 euros or more or something like that. I don't remember the specific numbers, but most of them ended up getting like a 40% haircut. So the bank still told them, hey, you have X number of dollars in here, but the problem is that they really didn't own that money. The money was just being held in the bank. They had loaned that money to the bank. And the bank ended up telling the people how much of their money they were going to be able to get back. Okay, same thing with stocks. Do you really own the stocks that you're invested in? How do you know that you really own them? Just because you have a piece of paper that says you own 10 stocks or 10 shares of this company? Is that proof that you own it? I mean, I don't know. I really don't. I don't know what to think about that, because it's just a piece of paper. So just be careful. If I owned stocks, I would be very careful in what I owned and how much I owned, and I would definitely be diversified and hedged against those stocks. Just like I'm diversified and hedged against the stock that's called the Federal Reserve note. No, thank you. All right. Melania Trump's plane turns around after mechanical failure. No big deal there. European car sales plunged 23%, dragging market lower. It's a cycle, ladies and gentlemen. Everything in nature is a cycle. Saudi council in Istanbul relieved of post to face investigation over the murder of Khashoggi, I guess it was. Oh, it says here, it looks like the Saudis have found their fall guy. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. This is not going to fall back on the prince or the king or whatever it is that they have over there. They're going to find some guy and they're going to ruin his life, and he might be put to death. Who knows? But yeah, this won't fall on them. Housing starts. Permits drop in September amid Midwest massacre. It says here, after August's brief respite, dead cat bounce. Look at that. Housing starts resumed their collapse in September, slumping 5.3%. Wow. Despite a downward revision to August spikes, permits notably disappointed, dropping for the 5th month of the last 6. So it looks like housing starts are dropping, and they've been dropping for the last half year. For the most part, 5 out of 6 months they've dropped in the last half year. So, and tell you, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of people say that, well, when a hurricane happens or a tornado or something like that, it's good for the economy. First of all, I don't think that's true at all. I've heard that a lot, that when these natural disasters happen, that it's good for the economy because you have to rebuild houses and all of the things that go along with that. But whenever there's destruction, it's not good. because capital that could have been used elsewhere is now being used to replace something that was already there. So it's I forgot what they call it, but I think they call it the broken window something, where if everybody broke a window, on purpose, that the economy would get better, because then more windows would have to be produced, and then more window installers would have to be hired, and then those window installers would be able to make more money and buy more things, and then the people that made those things that the window installers are buying would have more work, and they would have more money, and they would be able to buy more stuff. That theory does not work, okay, in reality. So it's kind of like the same thing with houses. Being that the housing market is dropping, some people may say, well, it's really going to pick up a lot now that we had those hurricanes that devastated those parts of, the southeast. I don't think that's going to happen. So I think that the housing slump is going to continue for one main reason, or for a couple of main reasons, is that they say that it is said that people are making more money nowadays. So nominally, yes, people may be making more money today than they were last year or 2 or 3 years ago. Nominally, yes. And as far as numbers go, yes. But what's the purchasing power of the money that they are making, okay, or of the fiat that they are making? And it says here, the Netflix Ponzi math does not make sense. Netflix's business success this quarter was to attract 7 million new subscribers by spending $7 billion on new programs. Go figure. These subscribers are paying $1,000 per quarter. Wow. Or it says, are these subscribers paying $1,000 per quarter? I don't think so. What's the game? Spend billions to get millions from subscribers. Yep. It's just, like I said, it's another cycle. This is just another cycle. Netflix will come and go. And same thing with YouTube. YouTube will come and go. YouTube will one day be gone. We won't even hear about it. We may talk about it to our grandkids one day in the next 20, 30, 40 years. But YouTube will come and go. Something better will come, and it will be gone. Just like, I think, what was it, MySpace that was around before Facebook? Same thing with Facebook. I think Facebook will probably go. Personally, I think Facebook would probably go before be the first one of the FANGs to go, because Facebook is so bad on censorship. I read an article here not too long ago, a few days ago maybe, that Facebook censored like over 800 pages or 800 sites, that they just took them off. And I guess the big deal about it was one of these sites, the name of it was called, I think the name of it was Right Wing News or something like that. But the thing is that this site is a real big controversy, because that site was ran by a triple amputee veteran, and there was really nothing bad on that site. And they took him, they just took it off. And I guess they're going to be getting sued and stuff like that, These guys that are doing this, all this censorship stuff, it's just not going to work, because all they're doing is they're just invigorating people from both sides, from all ideologies. They're ticking people off from all ideologies for what they're doing. And I know some people are going to say Facebook is a private company. They can do whatever they want. I won't get into the legalities of it. There's an argument that could be made that they shouldn't be doing what they're doing. However, I'm not a legal scholar or a lawyer or anything like that, so I won't get into that. Mueller probe is in its final weeks. Expect to wrap up after midterms. Hey, that's great. After, $20 million of taxpayer funds? Yeah. Italian bonds slide after official warns credit rating downgrade possible. Okay, let's see. After starting off strong, Italian 10-year yields have leaked wider all morning, after a senior government official said on Wednesday that Italy's 2019 budget may be rejected by the European Commission and a credit rating downgrade is possible. Well, U.S. futures slide to session lows as global stock rebound fizzle loses steam. S&P 500 futures fell to session low, down 0.3% following yesterday's torrid rally. The global rally fizzled as European shares paired earlier gains and turned flat in morning trade after stocks Europe 600 gained 1.6% on Tuesday, dragged lower by auto stocks. I'm not sure what's going on with this new meme they got going on, but I guess it's got a lot of people frustrated. Denmark and Italy fight back against open borders as populism swells across Europe. Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, from what I see, if there's anyone here from the UK, if anyone's watching this video, like from the UK or from Sweden or someplace like that, where I hear that the effects of having a large amount of Middle Eastern immigrants come in, if any of you guys are watching, can you guys please let me know if there's anything going on over there that's like really negative to your way of living and has affected you guys? Because honestly, I hear that in Sweden, it's really, really bad as far as immigrants coming in and disrupting their way of life as far as crime goes. So, and also in the UK, I hear that it's really bad in the UK as well. So, man, if someone here is watching from the UK or Sweden or one of those countries, chime in and let us know. That would be very interesting to get a first-hand comment from someone that actually lives in one of those places. And it says here, despite the fact that more refugees have come to work, there are still too many who do not support themselves. That is why I have decided that Denmark should not take quota refugees in 2018. Oh, and more countries in the EU are doing this. I think Poland, I think Hungary, Italy. Italy. Italy's one of them. Yeah, Italy. I think Sweden is starting to stand up, and I know Germany is really pissed. The people in Germany are really ticked off at their government as far as the open borders deal that they've been doing for the last few years. Venezuela ditches U.S. dollar, will use euros for international trade. Oh, here we go. Well, let's begin the countdown, ladies and gentlemen. When are we going to invade Venezuela? All right, it's already in the works. They've already started putting it in people's heads that we have to get rid of this guy in order to save the Venezuelan people. Okay, so they've already started putting it in our heads, for months now. Venezuelan socialism, which, yep, I agree that they're a socialist nation and all that kind of stuff, but they're their own nation. They can do whatever they want to do as long as it doesn't affect us over here or threaten us over here. And I don't see what they're doing threatens us except for not using dollar for international trade. So, and then again, I'm not sure exactly what Venezuela's GDP is. Their GDP may be so low that it wouldn't even affect us if they use something else other than the dollar. But, it's just an effect that's going to keep dominoing. If Venezuela can do it, why can't we do it? Why can't they do it? That's what these other countries are going to start thinking. Wait a minute. Why are we bound to only using dollars for international trade? Venezuela's not doing it. This other country's not doing it. That other country's not doing it. Well, if it benefits us not to use dollars, why don't we do it? That's the problem. All right, it's the ideology that is stronger than the action. Let's see. That's no deal. Oh, this one right here, ladies and gentlemen, is probably the most important one. This is the most important headline I'll read today. And it says here, global beer supply in jeopardy due to extreme drought and heat, study warns. The aim of the study is not to encourage people to drink more today. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have to start prepping a different way. How long does beer last on the shelf? Anybody know? How many years does a bottle of beer last on the shelf? Because we're going to have to start prepping a little bit of beer over here in Alaska. I don't know what this is about. Czech politician, what multiculturalism hides. The policy of multiculturalism, which emphasizes the benefits of cultural diversity for society and the state. It's an example of the exploitation of others based on a fantasy of virtue. Oh, that sounds like it may be a pretty interesting article to read right there. China to unveil next generation stealth bomber in 2019. The stealth bomber will be unveiled during a massive military parade. Ladies and gentlemen, you ever imagine how the world would be if we didn't have machines of war? If we didn't spend the money that we spend on wars? Imagine how much, I don't know, would it be better? You ever think about that? How much better do you think? Leave it in the comments. How much better do you think the world would be if we didn't spend the amount of money that we spend on wars and on war instruments? The last one here says, Pepe Escobar, welcome to the G20 from hell. World leaders wrestle with a maelstrom of complex burning issues as they prepare for November 30th summit. The G20 in Buenos Aires on November 30th could set the world on fire, perhaps literally. We'll see. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's just one page, and I'm not going to go through everything because it keeps going. If you've never been on this site, it'll keep going for days and days and days. So you'll get to October 16th. It's kind of archived back a few days. So that's going to be it for your wake-up call, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys are having a good week so far, and that you have a good day today. All right. I'm hoping that I'll be able to do a review of a dessert that I got from Mountain House. If not tonight, man, hopefully tomorrow. Or tomorrow for sure, I should be able to do a review of it. Okay? So having said that, remember to be good to each other. Remember that when good people do good things happen. Remember to reach one, teach one, and repeat. If we all did this, the world would be a better place, and you know that it will be a better place. And you know what, ladies and gentlemen? Check this out. I just realized that I have the stock market open. And this is today. It's down a couple hundred points, which this doesn't really affect me very much. I just look at it as a gauge. But that's where we're at today. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, many blessings to all of you and your families. This is Alaska Prepper, and I am out.